Hey guys, it is Snipe City here, and today I will be doing my 2018-2019 Stanley Cup Bracket Challenge. Now I know it's been a while since we've uploaded a video, but hoping that sometime this week we can get a couple videos out for you guys. I have to do with the playoffs and some pump-ups, etc. So you guys probably seen the Habs have got eliminated, but with a very promising future that Ryan Paling has already shown off, just to get that out there. So like I said before, today we're doing the bracket challenge. So let's just basically get right into it. Let's get into Calgary, Colorado. Personally, I cannot see Colorado making it. They had a rough patch this season. They always have that amazing first line: McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, Tyson Barrie, Semyon Varlamov, other guys like just Derek Brassard helping out down the middle. But I can't see. Calgary's been too dominant of a force, and they've got some experience and some very young talent on the team. Next up, San Jose and Vegas. San Jose has made some very good moves that have benefited them over the course of the season and in the offseason, notably Erik Karlsson. But honestly, I think Vegas is going to be able to just continue their momentum and get it done in the first round, especially with a big player that came in at trade deadline, Mark Stone. I feel like he's able to help out tremendously in getting this first round done. So I'm not going to say how many games I'm going to put. Well, I might as well say. I'm going to say probably 7 games. This is going to definitely be one of the hardest first round matchups to decide for any player making, or any person making their bracket, just because how close these two teams can be playing each other. So next up, Dallas versus Nashville. I don't think there's any chance, or despite a chance, but I don't think there's any way an underdog team such as Dallas can overcome Nashville, who just made so many good moves over at the trade deadline. They've been playing so well recently. They got first in the Central Division. I can't really see them losing to Dallas. And next up, another pretty hard decision to make: Winnipeg over St. Louis. Now, St. Louis started off this season extremely bad, one of the worst teams in the league, and then caught up to being third in their division. At the same time, Winnipeg has started off to be really good, but then kind of slowed down, especially with Patrick Laine's performance not being as good as we expected compared to last year, and just they've been losing some games recently. But just out of pure bias as a Canadian, I'm going to say Winnipeg, because I just want to see a Canadian team going somewhere, and I feel like Winnipeg could be the team, mainly due to their goaltending. Hopefully Helda can step up in the playoffs. Jordan Binnington is unexperienced, and I don't know if he'll pull it out. I mean, he had a really good regular season, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it in the playoffs, even though St. Louis has some depth and some experience. So going on to the East, I don't think there's really any question. Tampa Bay will make it to the second round. I don't think there'll be any curse, according to this. I don't have to talk about much about Columbus either. They made a lot of moves, and I think they're definitely going to make a competitive series, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull out a win, enough wins to win the series. So then Boston, Toronto, very interesting. I'm not going to, this is out of pure bias and just my opinion. Boston, obviously as a Habs fan, is probably my least favorite team in the league. Toronto, you can argue that as well, but Toronto has suffered enough, I feel. They lost already in the first round last year. I don't think they're going to be able to do that again. I think that Matthews, Tavares, Anderson, Riley, even like just some guys like Jay Gardner who have a bit of experience can step up, and all the young guys like Kapanen, Johnson, Brown, they can just step up and just win the series for them. While Boston does have a lot of good players, I feel like it's Toronto's turn to win a series. So now Washington, Carolina, the defending Stanley Cup champions against a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for quite a bit of time. I'm gonna go Washington here. I feel like Carolina can get some very good experience coming out of this, but I don't think Peter Mrazek will be enough to stop Braden Holtby or one-on-one. But I don't think Peter Mrazek will be enough to stop Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, Kuznetsov, even John Carlson. I'm giving this one to Washington Capitals. finally, to round off the first round here, Picks versus New York Islanders. I'm going to go with upset and say the Islanders. I feel like they've just pulled off something amazing this year. Obviously, the two goalies, Grice and Leonard, have got the William Jennings trophies together. I feel they can definitely take out Pittsburgh and stop them from their little winning streak they've had past couple years here. And I feel like it could be a surprise. Alright, so now going into the second round of the playoffs. Starting off with Calgary, Vegas, Golden Knights. I don't think Calgary will be able to pull it off here. I just think Vegas, even with the Cinderella run they had last year, I don't think they got lucky whatsoever. I think they could repeat it with possibly even stronger team, as they revitalized their second line there. Obviously, they don't have a guy like James Neal, who was pretty clutch for them last year. They got guys like that second line now with Pacioretty, Stone, and Stastny. I feel like it can definitely come up clutch for them. And Marc-Andre Fleury is going to be solid as always. So I do think Calgary in the coming years will be a very strong competitive team in the playoffs. I think Vegas might just take it this year. Now in the West, and then that would in the other bracket here, Nashville versus Winnipeg. I think it's basically the same scenario where Winnipeg has actually a bit more experience in Calgary, but I don't think these Canadian teams have enough playoff experience just in general in the past few years to make it. While Nashville does, and they played very solid, like I said before, with the same case with against Dallas. I think they can just make a run for it and go back to the conference finals and face off against Vegas. Now in the East, Tampa versus Toronto. This will be Toronto's first time in the second round in who knows how many years. And I know, I'm sure many of you know, but I personally can't remember last time Toronto was in the second round. While as Tampa was in the conference finals just last year, and now with a stronger team, even though they didn't make too many changes to the lineup. Stronger team just in general. Kucherov is going to be solid. Vasilevsky is going to be on point. Stamkos is going to bring up his huge leadership skills. Same thing with Victor Hedman. And just all the depth they've got, I think they could overcome Toronto. It's going to definitely be a tight series if this does happen. But I could definitely see Tampa winning it. Now Washington versus the Islanders. I feel that Washington is not going to be done making some noise, while the Islanders are going to try and fight as hard as they possibly can. I think Washington will just be able to edge them out by quite a bit and be able to essentially win the series in not too easy fashion, but they definitely won't have to work as hard as I feel that Tampa would have to work against Toronto. Now, going with Tampa, Washington in the conference finals. I would say it's a pretty obvious choice that Tampa would make the finals, which is what I'm about to put. But at the same perspective, Washington is going to be definitely fighting to get that 2 cups in a row and try and equal Pittsburgh's success they had in the previous years. But I do think ultimately Tampa will be able to make the finals. They've just been too strong of a team, and even with winning the President's Trophy, I think it'll definitely pay off for them. And Tampa will be able to impress many. Now in the West, Vegas, Nashville. This is very hard to say, but I think I can see Nashville making it to the finals, just based off of the depth that Nashville has over Vegas this year. Vegas is gonna be a good team for even the next couple of years, honestly, as long as they got Fleury consistently and they got enough offense. They can get a bit more. I think the defense is definitely gonna edge out this series, as Nashville's got guys like Subban, Yossi, Ekholm, Ellis, even like who's even the last line of their bottom pairing. It's like Yannick Weber and like someone else, I forget who, compared to Vegas where they have really just Shea Theodore, Nate Schmidt, Nate Engelland. So I feel like Nashville can definitely make it back to the Cup final for the first time, 2 years ago, I think? 2-3 years ago? So now in the Stanley Cup Finals, Nashville versus Tampa Bay. Now this is going to be a very tough call, and while many of you guys might disagree with it, I'm going to say the Nashville Predators. I think they're going to be able to earn their spot in the finals and be able to just give the city of Nashville what they deserve. While Tampa is gonna definitely go to a Game 7 series if this happens. No way this is going past 6 games. If it goes anywhere below 6 games, it would be the most shocking series ever, but I do think Nashville will be able to win the Stanley Cup this year. They've just earned it. They've been working really hard this past season, and while Tampa is literally the most amount of wins since Detroit in the 50s, I think Tampa has another couple years to give it their all, while Nashville might be on a deadline as Rene is getting older. A lot of the guys aren't getting any younger, that's for sure, and they have some young guys coming up, but their key players they have now are in their prime currently, and I don't think they're gonna have, and I don't think there's gonna be a lot of obstacles they can overcome in order to win the Stanley Cup. I'm gonna have goals scored. Let's just say like, I don't know, 39. That should make sense. So now first round matchups here. I'm gonna say Calgary in 6, Vegas in 7, and 5 because Dallas doesn't have much experience except for that first line. Winnipeg in 6, Tampa in say 5, Toronto in 7 for sure. Washington. Did I say Tampa in 5? Should I say Washington in 5? I'm gonna go 6. And then the Islanders in 7 if they want to be Pittsburgh. There's no way they're going past that. Okay, so the bracket is now completed. All my picks are in. What are your guys' picks going to be? Hopefully, you guys can have as much fun as you want to have with the bracket. Obviously, the Habs aren't in it, so it kind of sucks. But it's always fun every year to do the bracket. And just in general, to pick each team, see everyone's opinions on it. Let us know in the comments if you have what your pick is for the finals. And yeah, that should be it for this video. Stay tuned for some more videos this coming week involving the playoffs or the Habs and into the off season. And yeah, go Habs, go!